Evolution. It would be wonderful if animals could say things about the world, but they just don't. Jeffrey Pulliam, linguist.
Before we arrived in the forest to study chimpanzee behavior, compare it to ours, and initiate communication with these members of the group of great apes whose DNA is closest to man's, no chimpanzee, according to local tribal legend, had ever fallen from the green kingdom of treetops high above the forest floor. Our observations supported the veracity of this curious piece of folklore, and one lesson we hoped to gain from the chimpanzees was the secret of their fearless skill and immunity to accident. We captured a dozen chimps, taught them a handful of words, including fall. In order to clarify the meaning of fall without compromising the chimps' instinctive sense of immortality, we also taught them the word sleep, miming sleep, to illustrate where a fall takes them after they sink into the shimmering green sea of leaves and branches. 7 days after we reintroduced our captive chimps into their natural habitat, the first chimp fell. Some of my colleagues asserted that we'd erred by not teaching the word death to the chimps. Others argued death far too abstract a concept to introduce into the chimps' rudimentary vocabulary. At this juncture in our research, a furious debate ensued over the limits of chimp intelligence and whether or not human language could or should be transmitted to apes. But before we could agree on a course of action, an epidemic of fatal plunges had emptied the trees of chimps. Imagine a chimpanzee kicked back in his leafy nest constructed high in the branches of a towering tree. Imagine the chimp dreaming the story above, then dreaming up words to end the story differently.